eCapitol News Director Sean Ashley joins us with other news from the Capitol today. Sean, thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Now, the Oklahoma Tobacco Settlement Endowment Trust appears to have had a good investment year for 2018. Fill us in on that.
Yes, it really has. If you remember many years ago, the state of Oklahoma decided to deposit its payments from the Tobacco Settlement Master Settlement into an endowment fund and use the revenue from that to fund various health initiatives, particularly tobacco cessation. Now that fund has more than $1 billion in it, and in the most recent year, it earned more than $60 million in earnings. That money will be used by the Tobacco Settlement Endowment Trust, which is a state agency essentially, to fund various health initiatives and anti-smoking programs across the state. They probably won't use all that money in 1 year. They'll probably carry some of it forward because, again, you are talking about investment earnings that are not always the same year to year. So you want to hold a little bit in reserve.
Now, the initiative petition for adult use cannabis failed to make it on the ballot. How is that being interpreted at the state capitol by lawmakers that are preparing regulations for medical cannabis?
Well, I think it was kind of expected. As that state questions initiative petition was turned in, there was concern that it did not have enough signatures, and ultimately that's what we saw, that it fell several tens of thousands of signatures short and therefore will not make it onto the ballot. The key difference between it and what lawmakers are working on, of course, is that State Question 797 would have legalized recreational marijuana in the state of Oklahoma and put it in the Constitution. Lawmakers are working on the statutory framework that will go with State Question 788 that was approved by voters back in June and is a statutory issue.
The Joint Legislative Medical Marijuana Working Group heard from doctors this week and the public. What was the takeaway from their presentations?
Well, really what we heard was rather reminiscent of the debate prior to the vote on State Question 788. We heard from the doctors the desire for there to be some very strict limits on medical marijuana because of concerns that it could lead to other drug use. On the other side of the coin, from members of the public, including some individuals who indicated they had benefited from medical marijuana elsewhere in the United States, there was a desire for more loose regulation. In fact, one person suggested, for example, that those who are homebound and are receiving help from a caregiver should even be able to have it delivered to their homes rather than going to a dispensary themselves. Lawmakers are still hashing that out, and we'll see what they come up with in 2019.
eCapitol News Director Sean Ashley, thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome.